Gilligan's Island, the beloved sitcom that aired from 1964 to 1967, left an indelible mark on pop culture. But what happened to the iconic cast after the show wrapped? From the naive first mate Gilligan to the glamorous movie star Ginger, the lives of these actors have been as eventful as their island adventures. Now, more than 6 decades later, we take a look at where they are in 2025, exploring their careers, personal lives, and the legacies they've built since stepping off the island. Join us as we uncover the real-life stories of the cast of Gilligan's Island. Bob Denver, who portrayed the well-meaning but clumsy Gilligan on Gilligan's Island in 1964 at the age of 29, became an iconic figure known for his childlike innocence and constant misadventures. While his character brought joy to audiences, Denver's personal life was marked by struggle. Married twice, his first marriage ended in divorce after years of difficulties, and his second marriage also dissolved. Throughout his life, he faced issues with alcohol, which added to the emotional burden. Despite his popularity, Denver was often typecast and struggled to find roles that could break him free from the Gilligan image. In his later years, Denver was diagnosed with cancer, which worsened rapidly. He passed away on September 2, 2005, at the age of 70, with his passing reflecting the deep contrast between his cheerful on-screen persona and the turbulent reality of his personal life. His death was a tragic reminder of how fame doesn't always shield one from hardship and suffering. Natalie Schaefer, who played the refined Mrs. Lovey Howell, began her role in Gilligan's Island in 1964 at the age of 64. Mrs. Howell, with her high society airs and charming naivety, added an element of class and humor to the castaways' otherwise chaotic existence. In real life, Schaefer's career was largely defined by her portrayal of this wealthy, out-of-place character, and despite a successful stage and screen career prior to the show, she struggled to land diverse roles afterward. Her personal life was marked by solitude, as she never married or had children. Schaefer's later years were spent largely alone, and she faced a long, painful battle with cancer. She passed away on April 10, 1991, at the age of 90, with few close family members around her. Her once vibrant career faded, and her final years overshadowed by a quiet, private struggle. Allan Hale Jr., who took on the role of the strong and protective skipper in Gilligan's Island in 1964 at the age of 43, was adored for his warmth and fatherly nature. Off-screen, however, Hale's personal life was filled with challenges. He married twice and had children from both marriages, but both relationships faced significant strain, and his later years were marked by emotional isolation. Hale struggled with the typecasting that followed him after the show ended, and his career slowed considerably. In his final years, Hale battled thymus cancer, which gradually worsened his health. Despite his valiant efforts, he passed away on January 2, 1990, at the age of 68. His death, which came after years of struggling with illness and personal disappointment, was a somber end to a career that had once brought so much joy to fans, but had also been marred by personal hardship and loss. Jim Backus, who played the pompous and wealthy Thurston Howell III on Gilligan's Island starting in 1964 at age 51, was a beloved actor known for his sharp comedic timing. However, his personal life was far from the glamorous image of his character. Backus married his wife, Henny, in 1943, and while they had children together, their relationship had its ups and downs, and the strain of his busy career added to the pressures they faced. Later in life, Backus was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, which slowly affected both his body and mind. Despite his health struggles, he continued working, though his health deteriorated quickly in his later years. Backus passed away on July 3, 1989, at the age of 76, due to complications from Parkinson's disease. His death marked the loss of a television legend, but also highlighted the deep contrast between his professional success and the personal challenges he faced, leaving behind a legacy of both humor and sorrow. Russell Johnson, who portrayed the resourceful Professor Roy Hinckley, began his role in Gilligan's Island in 1964 at the age of 40. The professor was the embodiment of intellect and ingenuity, always coming up with clever solutions for the castaways' survival, but Johnson's real-life career didn't mirror his character's success. While Gilligan's Island was his most famous role, Johnson struggled to find work in significant roles afterward, and his career slowly faded after the show ended. His personal life, too, was full of complications, with 2 marriages that ended in divorce, leaving him to raise his children alone. The loneliness and emotional toll of these failed relationships lingered throughout his life. Johnson faced health struggles in his later years, and in his final days, he battled kidney failure. He passed away on January 16, 2014, at the age of 89. Dawn Wells, who portrayed the sweet and wholesome Marion Summers, began her role in 1964 at the age of 26. Known for her kindness, resourcefulness, and girl-next-door charm, Mary Ann became a beloved character on Gilligan's Island. While her career was defined by this role, she faced a series of personal challenges. Wells' marriage to talent agent Larry Rosen ended in divorce in 1967, and she struggled to break free from being typecast. Despite occasional guest roles and stage performances, Wells faced financial difficulties in her later years. She also endured a car accident in 1993, which left her with a broken back, leading to chronic pain and lengthy rehabilitation. In her final years, Wells' health deteriorated due to complications from COVID-19. She passed away on December 30, 2020, at 82, leaving behind a career that was marked by both fame and personal misfortune, as well as the loss of the vibrant, wholesome image that had once endeared her to millions. Vito Scotti, who played the eccentric Dr. Boris Balankoff, began his role in 1965 at the age of 47. Known for his quirky, often sinister character, Scotti's career spanned several decades, with notable roles in both television and film. However, his personal life was deeply troubled. Scotti's marriage to actress Renee Fremont ended in divorce, and the death of their only daughter, Gabriella, in 1968 left him devastated. Her passing due to a rare illness was a trauma that haunted him for the rest of his life. In his later years, Scotti battled lung cancer, which took a heavy toll on both his body and spirit. He continued working while fighting the disease, but his declining health limited his opportunities. Scotti passed away on June 5, 1996, at 78, after a long and painful battle with cancer. His death marked the end of a career that had brought both laughter and darkness to his audience, but it also underscored the deep personal pain he carried throughout his life. Eddie Little Sky, who played various Native American characters on Gilligan's Island in 1965 at the age of 39, was known for his ability to blend humor with authenticity. While his roles were memorable, his personal life was filled with turmoil. Struggling with typecasting, Eddie found it difficult to break free from stereotypical roles, which left him feeling unfulfilled in his career. His romantic life was equally tragic. He was married twice, but both unions ended in divorce. His second marriage, in particular, was strained by his emotional insecurities. Eddie had one son, but their relationship was distant, adding to his personal anguish. Despite his successful acting career, Eddie battled lung cancer, which he succumbed to on September 5, 1997 at the age of 71. His death was quiet, and his personal hardships, emotional struggles, strained relationships, and health issues overshadowed his legacy as an actor, leaving him largely forgotten by the public. Chick Hearn, who voiced the commentator on Gilligan's Island starting in 1967 at the age of 51, brought a unique and often humorous perspective to the show with his witty commentary. Off-screen, however, Hearn's life was far from the carefree persona he portrayed. He struggled with emotional isolation and a sense of disconnection from his family, despite his fame as a sports announcer. His marriage was troubled, and Hearn's personal life was often marked by an inner sadness that he kept hidden from the public. As he grew older, Hearn faced significant health issues, including complications from a fall that eventually led to his death. On August 5, 2002, at the age of 85, Hearn passed away, leaving behind a career full of laughter and entertainment, but a life also defined by personal loss and the loneliness that can often accompany public success. Mel Blanc, who voiced the parrot on Gilligan's Island in 1964 at the age of 56, was one of the most iconic voice actors of his time. Though his comedic roles brought joy to millions, Blanc's personal life was marked by deep sorrow. He was married to Estelle for many years, but their relationship was devastated by the tragic death of their son, Noel, who passed away at just 25 years old. This loss left Mel emotionally shattered, and his grief carried through the rest of his life. In 1961, he suffered a serious car accident that left him in a coma for several weeks, further complicating his personal struggles. Mel's health deteriorated over time, and he passed away from heart disease on July 10, 1989, at the age of 81. While his voice will forever be associated with beloved characters, his personal life was filled with hardship, including the loss of his son and enduring health battles that ultimately led to his death, casting a long shadow over his otherwise successful career. Russ Grieve, who portrayed the fearsome headhunter in Gilligan's Island in 1965 at the age of 42, had a brief but memorable role that left a lasting impression. However, much of his life outside of the show was filled with personal struggles. After Gilligan's Island, Russ found it difficult to maintain a stable career in Hollywood, and his work dwindled over the years. He faced financial difficulties and was unable to find consistent success. His marriage, which is known to have been troubled, ended in divorce, and details of his personal life remained largely private. His later years were marked by isolation, with few public appearances or mentions of his life beyond his acting career. Russ passed away on October 22, 1980 at the age of 56, his struggles largely unknown to the public. His life, filled with quiet despair and unfulfilled dreams, serves as a stark contrast to the intimidating character he portrayed on screen, and his death stands as a reminder of the unseen battles many actors face behind the scenes. Hans Conried, who played the quirky aviator Rongway Feldman in Gilligan's Island in 1964 at the age of 47, was known for his impeccable comedic timing and eccentric, misguided character. Feldman's attempts to escape the island added much of the absurdity and humor that the show became famous for. However, Conried's life was marred by personal struggles that contrasted sharply with his on-screen persona. He had a strained marriage to actress Louise, which ultimately ended in separation after years of emotional distance. Despite his success in voice acting and comedy, Conried battled feelings of isolation and depression, which were compounded by his declining health in later years. He passed away from a heart attack on January 5, 1982, at the age of 64, leaving behind a legacy of laughter but also a life that reflected hidden pain and the personal sacrifices that came with his career. Denny Miller, who portrayed the handsome and confident Duke Williams in Gilligan's Island beginning in 1965 at the age of 31, was the epitome of athleticism and charm. On screen, Duke was a romantic hero who captivated the female castaways, but Miller's personal life was much less glamorous. Though he initially experienced fame, his career was plagued by typecasting, and he struggled to find substantial roles after Gilligan's Island. His first marriage to Nancy ended in divorce, and later in life, Miller was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS. The disease gradually stripped him of his mobility and speech, forcing him into a battle he could not win. Despite his best efforts to stay positive, ALS ultimately took his life on September 9, 2014, at the age of 80. His death was a tragic end to a life filled with unrealized potential, and it serves as a heartbreaking reminder of how illness can steal away even the most vibrant of souls. John Gabriel, who portrayed the professor in the 1992 Gilligan's Island reunion movie, was 61 when he took on the role. As the professor, Gabriel showcased his intelligence and quick thinking, yet despite his talent, his career was burdened by a lack of significant opportunities after the film. Gabriel's life was also overshadowed by personal challenges, including a divorce from actress Dina Dietrich, with whom he had a strained relationship. Their child grew up amidst the turbulence, and Gabriel's connection with his family suffered. His professional and personal life seemed to be a series of missed opportunities, leaving him with regrets that weighed heavily on him. After enduring a long period of declining health, he passed away on June 11, 2021, at the age of 90. Gabriel's passing was the conclusion of a life defined by unrealized dreams and relationships that were marked by tension and unspoken sorrow. Zsa Zsa Gabor, who played the glamorous Erica Tiffany Smith, began her role in 1965 at the age of 48. Erica was a refined and sophisticated character, bringing a sense of high society to Gilligan's Island. While Gabor's career was built on her stunning beauty and numerous marriages, her personal life was filled with heartache. She was married 9 times, often in the public eye for scandalous divorces and tumultuous relationships. Her final marriage to Frederick Prinz von Anhalt was marked by public spats and financial troubles. In her later years, Gabor faced multiple health struggles, including paralysis from a car accident, and her financial situation worsened. She passed away on December 18, 2016, at 99 from heart failure. Despite her fame, Gabor's life was a testament to the price of celebrity, as her wealth dwindled, and she was left to contend with both personal and financial ruin in her twilight years. Kurt Russell, who played Jungle Boy in Gilligan's Island, began his role at just 14 years old in 1965. His character brought a youthful energy and adventurous spirit to the show, but Russell's early career was fraught with frustrations as he struggled to find roles that showcased his full range of talent. While his later success as a Hollywood star is well known, his early years in the industry were marked by self-doubt and feelings of being underappreciated. Russell's personal life was also challenging, with a string of failed relationships before eventually finding happiness with actress Goldie Hawn. Despite his success in the latter part of his career, Russell's younger years were defined by personal insecurity and a sense of loss over opportunities that never materialized. As of 2025, at 73 years old, Russell is still active in the entertainment industry, reflecting on his long and tumultuous journey through both personal and professional struggles. Larry Storch, who portrayed Jackson Farrell, began his role in 1965 at the age of 42. Jackson was a charming and adventurous character, often providing a sense of excitement on the island with his smooth-talking demeanor. Storch, a talented actor, struggled with being typecast, finding it difficult to secure varied roles after Gilligan's Island. His career in television continued, but his personal life became marred by a bitter divorce from his first wife, actress Norma Storch, which sent him into a spiral of emotional distress. In addition, his battle with substance abuse led to a series of personal and professional setbacks. Despite a steady career in voice acting and occasional appearances in TV shows, Storch's later years were marked by loneliness and isolation. He passed away on July 8, 2022, at the age of 99. Harold J. Stone, who played the stern and commanding Alexander Gregor Dubov in Gilligan's Island in 1965 at the age of 52, was known for bringing a sense of tension and authority to the show, often standing in sharp contrast to the more comedic elements. Off-screen, Harold's personal life was far from as composed as his on-screen roles. He was married twice, with both unions ending in painful divorces. His first marriage ended due to infidelity, while his second wife, with whom he had a daughter, struggled with severe mental health issues, leading to their eventual split. Despite his recognizable talent, Harold's career was mostly marked by typecasting, and he found it difficult to find work that allowed him to stretch beyond villainous roles. Financially, he faced challenges, and his later years were spent in relative obscurity. He passed away on November 18, 2005, at the age of 92 due to natural causes. Nehemiah Persoff, who played Pancho Hernando Gonzalez Enriquez Rodriguez, began his role in 1965 at the age of 46. Pancho was a lively, comic character who added flair to Gilligan's Island with his eccentric antics. While Persoff's acting career flourished in both television and film, his personal life was far more troubled. He lost his wife, actress Ruth O'Hara, to an early death in the 1970s, leaving him to raise their 3 children alone. The loss of his wife left a deep emotional scar, and he struggled with depression and financial instability for much of his life. Despite his success, Persoff faced multiple personal battles, including health issues such as diabetes and heart disease. He passed away on April 5, 2022, at the age of 102. While remembered for his colorful roles, Persoff's life was defined more by his personal suffering than his public achievements. Vincent Beck, who portrayed the menacing Igor in Gilligan's Island in 1965 at the age of 41, was often remembered for his dark and intimidating presence. However, his personal life was riddled with misfortune. He was married twice, and both marriages ended in emotional turmoil. His first marriage ended due to infidelity and abuse, while his second marriage was strained by constant financial difficulties and his wife's ongoing struggles with addiction. Despite having a son from his second marriage, their relationship was distant, and Vincent was often alone in his later years. His career never reached the heights he hoped for, and he was plagued by financial instability. In his final years, Vincent was diagnosed with cancer, which he battled privately. On July 24, 1984, he passed away at the age of 59, marking the end of a life filled with struggles. Booth Colman, who played the wise and intellectual Professor John Corwell in Gilligan's Island in 1965 at the age of 42, brought an air of calm and reason to the group of castaways. Off-screen, Booth's life was filled with its own set of challenges. He was married once, but his wife's struggles with substance abuse led to their eventual divorce. After the separation, Booth never remarried, and he lived a life of relative solitude. His professional career was marked by a mix of success and disappointment, as he was often typecast in roles that didn't showcase his true range. His later years were filled with financial hardships, and he struggled with feelings of loneliness. Booth passed away on December 15, 2014, at the age of 91 after battling a prolonged illness. In his final years, he was far removed from the spotlight, his death largely unnoticed by the public, and he was remembered more for the quiet, intellectual character he played. Richard Kiel, who portrayed the menacing Russian agent on Gilligan's Island in 1966 at the age of 27, became an iconic figure due to his towering height and intimidating screen presence. However, Kiel's personal life was far from as imposing. His size made him feel like an outsider, and he struggled with self-esteem issues and health complications, including a variety of surgeries. His first marriage ended in divorce, and despite his later relationship with his second wife, he faced ongoing challenges in his personal life. Kiel battled with depression and the toll of his physical health problems, leading to an estrangement from a sense of peace. His death, due to a heart attack on September 10, 2014, at the age of 74, came after a life filled with both professional triumphs and deeply personal struggles that many did not see. While he was beloved for his villainous roles, his personal battles remain a stark contrast to his larger-than-life image on screen. Stanley Adams, who portrayed the regal King Kalawani, began his role in 1967 at the age of 52. King Kalawani was a commanding yet humorous figure, known for his regal presence and wit, which added a layer of lightheartedness to the show. Adams had a successful career in both television and film, but behind his public persona, his personal life was filled with struggle. He was married to actress Shirley Adams, but the marriage ended in divorce, and he grappled with depression, which grew worse over time. Despite his talents, his career began to stagnate, and he faced numerous setbacks. His struggles intensified, leading to a tragic ending. On April 27, 1977, at the age of 62, Adams took his own life, leaving behind a legacy marred by unfulfilled potential. His death sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, revealing the dark side of fame and the inner battles that often remain hidden from the public eye. Don Rickles, who took on the role of Norbert Wiley, the sarcastic and sharp-witted character in Gilligan's Island in 1966 at the age of 40, was a master of humor, known for his insult comedy that masked the vulnerability he often hid behind. Though his career soared and his witty remarks made him a favorite among many, his personal life was fraught with difficulties. He married Barbara Sklar in 1965, and while their marriage endured, they struggled with the heartbreak of infertility and emotional isolation. Rickles often spoke of his struggles with anxiety and the toll that his public persona had on his private life. Despite his humor, he was a deeply complex man who battled feelings of loneliness and stress. After years of suffering from kidney failure, Rickles passed away on April 6, 2017, at the age of 90. Though he was loved for his humor, his life was marked by emotional pain that was masked by his quick wit, leaving a legacy of laughter and hidden struggles. John McGiver, who played the eccentric Lord Beasley Waterford on Gilligan's Island in 1966 at the age of 53, was known for his unique ability to blend comedic charm with eccentricity, which made his portrayal of the aristocratic character memorable. Despite his success on screen, McGiver's personal life was far from joyful. His marriage to actress Jean Baird ended in divorce, and McGiver struggled with deep feelings of loneliness and emotional distress. His career, while steady, was also marked by periods of financial insecurity, contributing to his stress and unhappiness. In addition, he faced significant health issues, including high blood pressure and heart problems, which likely took a toll on his emotional well-being. McGiver's life came to a tragic end on September 9, 1975, when he passed away at the age of 61 from a heart attack. He left behind a legacy of quirky and beloved characters, but his life was also marked by emotional and physical struggles that took him far too soon. Rory Calhoun, who played the adventurous Jonathan Kincaid, began his role in 1967 at the age of 45. Jonathan Kincaid was a bold and charismatic figure, known for his daring and often reckless escapades that brought excitement to the otherwise peaceful island. Calhoun had an extensive career in Hollywood, primarily known for his roles in westerns, and enjoyed early success. However, his personal life was far from idyllic. He married 3 times, with each marriage ending in divorce, and faced strained relationships with his children. His later years were marked by declining health, including emphysema and diabetes, which took a toll on his quality of life. Though he found some success in the 1960s and 70s, Calhoun's career waned, and he spent his final years in solitude. He passed away on April 28, 1999, at 76, having lived through health issues and a career that had not lived up to its earlier promise, leaving behind a legacy of unfulfilled potential. Phil Silvers, who portrayed the flamboyant Harold Hecuba, began his role in 1966 at the age of 55. Hecuba, with his over-the-top theatrics and larger-than-life personality, was a standout character in the show, providing both comic relief and moments of heartfelt vulnerability. Silver's career was full of success, including his notable role in The Phil Silvers Show and his work on Broadway, but his personal life was marked by deep struggles. His second marriage to actress Evelyn Patrick ended in a bitter divorce, and his relationships with his children were often strained. In his later years, he faced financial difficulties and battled depression. Silvers passed away from a heart attack on November 1, 1985, at the age of 74. Though his professional life was filled with accolades, his personal life was one of heartache and isolation, leaving a legacy that reflected both the joy he brought to others and the personal pain he endured. Strother Martin, who played the gruff and rugged George Barclay, began his role in 1967 at the age of 48. Martin's portrayal of a tough and stoic character added an element of grit to the show, but in real life, he was anything but invincible. His career was filled with ups and downs, with his most memorable roles in films like Cool Hand Luke and The Wild Bunch. However, his personal life was riddled with pain. Martin's marriage ended in a bitter divorce, and he struggled with alcoholism, which led to estrangement from family and friends. His personal demons often overshadowed his professional success, and his emotional turmoil was a constant companion. He passed away from a heart attack on August 1, 1980, at the age of 61, leaving behind a legacy of complex characters but a life defined by personal battles and regrets. His death marked the end of a turbulent life that contrasted sharply with the hard-edged characters he portrayed. Sterling Holloway, who voiced the lovable and cheerful Bert, started his role in 1967 at the age of 62. Bert was a warm and kind-hearted character, offering solace and light in moments of chaos on the island. However, Holloway's own life was a stark contrast to the jovial character he portrayed. despite a career full of successful voice acting roles, including his iconic work as the voice of Winnie the Pooh. Holloway never married and lived much of his life alone. His personal relationships were few, and he struggled with loneliness throughout his life. Though he found success in his career, his deep desire for companionship remained unfulfilled. Holloway passed away from a heart attack on November 22, 1992, at the age of 87. His life, though rich in career achievements, was overshadowed by quiet solitude and a longing for connection that was never fully realized. Tina Louise, who brought the glamorous movie star Ginger Grant to life, started her role in Gilligan's Island in 1964 at the age of 30. Ginger was a charming, somewhat vain Hollywood actress who relied on her beauty and acting skills to navigate the absurd island life, but her role became a double-edged sword for Tina Louise. While the fame she gained from the role was significant, it also led to a difficult career, as Louise struggled to shake the typecasting that followed her throughout the 1970s and beyond. Her marriage to television host Les Crane ended in divorce, and though she had a daughter, the relationship was strained and distant. Professionally and personally, Louise faced numerous disappointments, and despite her undeniable talent, her career never reached the heights many had expected. At 90 years old in 2025, Tina Louise still lives quietly, dealing with the complex legacy of a career that defined her but never fully fulfilled her, both professionally and personally. Who is your favorite character from Gilligan's Island? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.